This is WNBF News Today at 5.
Right now, an Horry County woman is calling for tougher action after her ex-boyfriend bites off part of her nose the way she wants you to help.
Developing overnight, Egypt goes on the attack after ISIS beheads 21 of their own. How the U.S. is responding next.
If you're between the ages of 18 and 65, you need to listen up why you may be more vulnerable to epidemics. Next in my live report.
Also ahead, a chance for winter weather, folks. It is headed our way.
Marla joins us right now with when it could get here. Marla.
Let's kick things off with the winter weather advisories in place now. They actually go until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it's for Scotland County, Robson County, Marlborough and Dillon County, and even just a shade of Darlington County. Now, overall, our winter weather threat has decreased a little bit. We're looking like the timing between the cold temperatures and the rain is going to be a little bit off. But if we do get that wintry mix turning over to rain, it's going to be across those counties that I just rattled off to you. For the Grand Strand, just a cold rain. And this is going to take place overnight tonight and very early tomorrow morning. And again, that threat is a little less likely. The main threat is going to be for the border belt. And then as we head into the morning hours tomorrow, I have the details on a temperature profile that's a little on the wacky side, and I'll explain how that's going to help us decrease that threat even more. I have all the details you need to know coming up at 5:15.
Well, happening now, Egypt has responded to a video showing the mass killing of Christians. Early this morning, warplanes struck Islamic State targets who claim responsibility for beheading 21 Egyptian Christians. The Islamic State released new video showing the beheadings in Libya. We are only showing you the captives being led down a beach on what's believed to be the Mediterranean Sea before they are allegedly murdered. An English-speaking militant threatens the Christian populations of Iraq, Syria, and other countries. ISIS claims they captured the 21 hostages weeks ago. The White House released a statement calling the killings despicable and cowardly. And new this morning, we're learning more about the boyfriend who tried to save Kayla Mueller, who ISIS held captive. Omar Al-Khani told the Associated Press he returned to Syria months after they were both captured at gunpoint outside a hospital. He tried to pose as her husband to get her released, but his plan failed. Al-Khani says she might not have recognized he was there to save her and instead wanted to make sure he was safe. Mueller's death was confirmed last week, and I will keep you updated on this story throughout the morning from here at the live desk. Back to you, Theo.
All right. Thank you, Mandy. 5:02 is your time. We've been hearing more and more about the measles vaccine and the national debate about vaccinating your children. But it turns out that there's more to worry about. Katrina Helmer joins us live from the South Strand Medical Center. Katrina, what are doctors now concerned about?
Well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you got your tetanus shot? If you're like a good majority of adults in the U.S., you actually are not up to date on most of your vaccinations. As a result, doctors are saying that's causing a lot of health issues that actually could be prevented and avoided. Now, according to the CDC, more adults are skipping all kinds of vaccinations that actually put you at risk of some serious diseases. Take tetanus. The CDC recommends adults should get a booster shot every 10 years to protect against the bacterial toxin. It causes painful muscle stiffness and can be deadly. But according to the report, not even 63% of people between ages of 19 and 49 got the shot in the past 10 years. The percentage drops off the older people get. And local doctors say with an outbreak of whooping cough 3 or 4 years ago in the Midwest, it's important all adults over the age of 20 get the shot.
What we're learning is as we mature, our immune systems start to get tired as well. And our immune system is basically antibodies that we have built up from either infections that we've had in the past or vaccines that we've gotten. And what happens is as we get older, those antibodies start to die off.
Local doctors, along with the CDC, say they're also saying as parents don't want to vaccinate their kids, those kids are then growing up with a weaker immune system because they haven't been exposed to certain diseases or viruses. And doctors believe making the choice not to vaccinate could actually make you more vulnerable, even as adults, for more epidemics. Reporting live in Myrtle Beach, Katrina Helmer, WNBF News.
Katrina, thank you for that. I think I'm as guilty as everybody else on that one. All right, we're working to learn the name of a person killed after a crash in Georgetown County. This one happened early Sunday morning along Highway 261. The victim not wearing a seatbelt when a car going the opposite direction crossed the center line and hit them head on. This is according to South Carolina Highway Patrol. The driver of the other car was flown to Grand Strand Hospital. That crash still under investigation. We'll bring you updates as soon as they come into the newsroom. Also, right now, the Georgetown Police Department needs your help in finding this guy wanted for 2 counts of malicious injury to personal property and credit card fraud. Chad Cribb also has a warrant out for his arrest. His last known address, Dawson Street in Georgetown. If you know where he is or if you see him, call the Georgetown Police Department.
Well, it's a restaurant that you and your family may have dined at for years, but now horrific claims of abuse are shining a harsh spotlight on that business. A mentally challenged man says the manager abused him for 4 years. The employee says he was beat with belts and burned with hot tongs. Tonight, I'm investigating the allegations and why nothing was done to stop it. This morning, you can visit WMBFnews.com and see the uncut interview. Just click on the Abuse at Local Restaurant icon at the top of the homepage. Then tune in for the full investigation only on WMBF News tonight at 6. An Horry County woman has started a campaign for tougher charges after part of her nose was bitten off. Michelle Messer says she was attending an event at the Sandy Monkey Bar and Grill in Murrells Inlet earlier this month. Messer told police when she left, her ex-boyfriend, 39-year-old Chris Campbell, beat her, bit her nose, and threatened to kill her. Campbell has been charged with 1 count of criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. The Change.org petition claims to upgrade or looks to upgrade the charges to first-degree attempted murder. She needs 2,500 signatures before she can send it off to our local, state, and national leaders. It's close to 2,000 right now. If you'd like to sign it, head over to WMBFnews.com. We have the link for you in this story under our local tab.
At 5:07 right now, new assistant city manager in Myrtle Beach will take over that position starting today. Jonathan Simons Jr. beat out about 164 other people for that position. Simons, the only city administrator, or I should say the city administrator for Easley, South Carolina. The position was left open after John Peterson became the city manager. That happened back in November. Ocean Lakes Family Campground holding that seasonal job fair from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. this morning. It'll be inside the recreation center on the property there on South Kings Highway. The campground looking to hire up to 250 seasonal and part-time employees. The jobs will have flexible hours, bonuses, and competitive wages. Those who plan to go are asked, of course, to bring their resume. A traffic alert for you. Glens Bay construction project not taking a break, even though it's President's Day today. Here are some closures that you probably want to know about if this is a route for your commute. Today through Friday, there will be 2-lane closures on Homestown Road. The shoulder along 17 Bypass North from the Church of the Resurrection up to Glens Bay Road will be closed all week. The southbound shoulder from Sutter Drive to Homestown Road will also be closed. In a developing story, pressure is being put on Congress to extend funding for the Department of Homeland Security. President Obama's chief of staff says the current budget will actually run out on the 27th of this month. Employees who work at borders and do security at airports would have to do the job without being paid unless a funding agreement is reached. This is because the work they do is considered necessary to protect human life and property. The 200,000 workers would be impacted. And there is a push to increase federal funds for more safety at railroad crossings across the country. The 2 New York senators proposed it after a train hit an SUV earlier this month just outside New York City. That crash, you'll recall, killed 6 people, injured 15 others. If passed, the bill calls for $50 million to go to Federal Railroad Administration and states for more lights and signals.
Of the 212,000 rail grade crossings in the United States today, a half have no warning lights or bells. They are passive. They have a stop sign at most.
Lawmakers say more than 200 people died in train crossing accidents in 2013.
Well, new at 5, as the Northeast is preparing for more winter weather, Boston is one for the record books. February, now officially the city's snowiest month since 1872, when record keeping started. Now, that's according to the National Weather Service. Snow totals so far have hit 45.5 inches. The last record was 43.3 in January of 2005. The city has also marked another milestone, 7th snowiest winter on record with 82.7 inches so far. And in just the last few hours of daylight, a lot of people in Maine trying to dig out of all this snow. Towns in southern Maine got around 2 feet of fresh snow. Mailboxes, streets, and driveways were all piled high with powder. Amtrak trains and Metro services were canceled Sunday, and the Turnpike lowered the speed limit. Meanwhile, a scary situation in Michigan. Roads were a mess, and crews were busy cleaning up 2 pile-up crashes involving more than 40 cars. Officials say whiteout conditions and drivers going too fast led to that pile-up on the highway. A tow truck driver had actually just finished clearing the pileup in the northbound lanes when he got the call for the crash in the southbound lanes. Cars were pulled off to the side, and he was walking down the highway to check for injuries at the front of the crash when a dump truck came right towards him.
Next thing you know, we had this truck come flying through there, jumped to get out of the way, and he clipped me a little bit and sent me flying in the air.
Well, that tow truck driver landed in a pile of snow. Pretty lucky there. He was taken to a local hospital but did not suffer any injuries. No one involved in the crashes suffered life-threatening injuries either. We're going to have a lot more on how the Northeast is preparing coming up at 6.
And a storm moving across the Midwest has the chance to create some winter weather here. I'm showing you exactly where we're expecting it and what to expect in my first alert forecast.
And treating your students like drug users. That's what's happening to teens in the Carolinas caught with e-cigarettes. Why the sudden harsh treatment? That's coming up.